મોટલ 6માં ઊંઘે ને આખી રાત ઊંઘ્યા. હવે નીકળાઈએ બીજા દાડાનું. હવે તમને બતાવવાનું ચાલુ કરીશું. ડકબોટ પછી બધું કલારી ને બધું બતાવીએ. જો આ 94 હાઈવેના બાજુમાં જ મોટલ. તો બધા રેડી થઈ જાય હવે જવા માટે. પછી બધું ફરીને કાલાહારી ફરીને ગયા નહીં દક્કો. ડકબોટ નું એડ્રેસ નાખીને એ પતા એમ પૈકા હારીને જતા રહીશું. તો બધા રેડી થઈ ગયા. આવા જોઈ લો બધા બે ગયો. બીજો દિવસ ચાલુ થઈ ગયો વિસ્કોન્સિન નો. આખતના રોડ આયા ઊંચા નાચા. જતું રહ્યું.
ચાર્જર તો સેમસંગ નું ગમે તે ચાલે. આમાં સીધે ચાર્જર તારી માં આવી જતા. ના આવો કમાન ધંધા કર નાખી. એટલે ઉધર
આ છોકરો મ્યુઝિયમ. જો આ ગાડી જો ગાડી એક હાથે તમે ઊંચી કરી શકો. આ ગાડી બોધેલી રહી ને એક હાથે ઊંચી કરાય. આ ડકબોટ મસ્ત આવી જો ડકબોટ આવવાની તૈયારીઓ.
ફ્લેમિંગો મોટર મોટલો છે બધી.
સોરી
હલો નહીં
ડકબોટ આવી જાય. ચલો ડકબોટમાં હવે જોઈ જાય. અહીંયા હે ડકબોટ. અરે નહીં હોય લ્યા. ના આ દિલ્હી આર્મી ડક છે યાર. ડકબોટ નહીં.
ટિકિટ લખીને ઓપ્શન ટિકિટ બારી હે ને.
ડકબોટ જાદે
પૂછી લેવાનું. લાસ્ટ ટાઈમ તો દેતા બા
બહુ બદલાઈ ગયું. આવી ગયો ડકબોટ. આવી જા ડકબોટ બતાય. ડકબોટ બતાવો. ડકબોટ ડકબોટ એ રહી. ચલો ટિકિટ બારી એક જણના કંઈક $40 $35 છે અને નાનું કિડ્સ હોય એના $29. આમાં પૂરી બાહેડો. આમાં પૂરી બાહેડ્યો. ડોકપટમાં હેડ્યા બાથરૂમમાં જઈને નીકળીએ ડકબોનું આપણે વસ્તુ ડકબટમાં આપણે બેન હેડ્યા બોટમાં બેવા બરીવા હેડ્યા હું હા ટિકિટો હાલવાની અહીં જ આવે બરીવા
કેટલું જોવો કે લે માર બધો શું
બેહી ગયો
હા બેહી ગયો
All right, how's everybody doing today? Good, you guys ready to jump around? Said it was first time Dell's Army doing?
હમ
Yeah, no, this one. Right, guys, don't flip that.
હેડ્યા ડક બોટ હેડી ભાઈ આર્મીની બોટ હેડી અમારી
Unravel it. Pull it apart. Wrap it around your head. Pull it aside. Bring it back around and clip it in the front. And if for whatever reason you guys can't get it clipped, just give it a nice brake look and pick up it next to it.
Mic check, can everybody hear me?
Yep.
All right, my name is Jack. We're aboard the World War II infamous duck Watts. Now, up in front of our duck to the right and left-hand sides, you guys can see our duck barns. This is where we house our 24 fully operational World War II Army ducks. This is pretty much where our ducks hibernate all winter to come out and party all summer, just like your duck driver. Now, off to the right-hand side of our duck, you guys can see this wooden building here. This is one of our 8 privately owned zip lines we have here on property. These have been closing any friends, family, and complete strangers. Coming up on our first duck splash down of the day. Now we're going to give you guys one of 2 options. You guys can either grab that seat in front of you and hang on tight, or my personal favorite, you guys can just put your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. All right, let's go.
Top side coming out.
It's going a lot better when I try to my truck.
અહીંયા આવે તો પાછળ પસરાય લે ના આગળ જવું જતી ને ભાઈ જો નેતો તો પોણી વેતા ને પૂરી
Now we are floating here in Lake Sally. Lake Sally is one of our 4 privately owned lakes we have here on property. Lake Sally is actually a spring-fed lake, so in the fall, winter, and summer, pretty much just starts. We are coming up on our first duck landing of the day. Might get a little bumpy on the way out, so I do have to ask you guys to remain seated.
જો એ પડશે સારું ખાવાનું
All right, guys, how was that first splashdown? Good? You guys ready to try it again?
Yeah.
Should we get a run up for this one? Run up?
Yeah.
All right.
પકડ દે પૂરી
Are you guys ready?
Ready.
Let's do it. Welcome to Lake Sally 2.0. Now, does anyone on today's tour know what the Wisconsin Summerbird is? Summerbird? It's actually just a mosquito. So around Lake Sally, we strategically place traps to catch these mosquitoes, and then at the end of the summer, we put them in big brown boxes and ship them to the place we've called Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota.
So I can do with all my football players. Alright, now that we've done a couple splashdowns going forward, do you guys want to try one in reverse?
Yeah!
Yeah? Alright, let's do it. You guys ready?
Ready.
Hang on. No. State Farm hasn't cleared us for that one yet.
State Farm. Jake from State Farm said.
Where is the stop sign?
Now we are coming up on our first land obstacle of the day. Our duck drivers have nicknamed this hill Sand Trap Hill because from time to time our ducks do get stuck on the way up. So
Yeah.
what's our deal over here?
જો હરણ આવ્યું હરણ વચમાં એ ચરા એ રહ્યું હરણ જંગલમાં થઈને નીકળી હોય ગાડી હોય
Another one right here.
બેઠો
Now from time to time our ducks do get stuck going up Sand Trap Hill, but stay calm because if we do get stuck, I have come with a plan. Me and all the other strong men on board, we're gonna have the duck and let's on all the women and children on board today. We are gonna then get back on the duck, cheer them on as they push up the hill. Sound good? Over to Dell Creek, and unfortunately I do have to keep my microphone off on those Wisconsin roadways, so I'll tell you guys right now that it might get a little windy out there. So I would hang on to any loose items like hats, sunglasses, wigs, small children. But if you guys lose any of these items, that is completely fine. Just raise your hand. I'll see you. I'll raise my hand with you, and we'll both wave those items goodbye. We have now arrived at Dell Creek. We'll be using Dell Creek to go out onto the Wisconsin River. Now there is one little known fact about Dell Creek here. It is that all the water that comes through it actually comes from the Soviet Union. You guys might be wondering, how do I know that? You guys can look right there and see that that water is definitely Russian. Now we'll get a little bumpy on the way through Dell Creek, so I do have to ask you guys to remain seated. We are now free floating in the Wisconsin River. Now off to our right hand side, you guys can see actually one of the Dell's rarest attractions, which is Newport Beach. You guys might be wondering, what is so rare about a beach? Well, it is completely free entertainment, which is pretty rare to come by here in the Wisconsin Dells. Sitting on a piece of history, I figured that I'd give you guys a little history lesson. So these ducks were manufactured from 1942 to 1945 in Pontiac, Michigan. In Pontiac, Michigan, around 21,000 ducks were manufactured for World War II. Out of those 21,000 ducks, the U.S. government sent over about 10,000 ducks to see action in World War II. Now, of those 10,000 ducks that did see action in World War II, only one duck made it back to the United States. That is because the U.S. government found out it was a lot cheaper to strip them of all their valuable parts and sink them about 5 miles up the coast of France than it was to ship them back home. The extra 11,000 ducks that didn't see any action in World War II, they were sold in military surplus auctions around the United States, and I found out about a military surplus truck auction happening in California. Him and his brother drove down there and bought 2 ducks for about $250 a piece and drove them from California all the way back home to Milwaukee, which is about a 2-week trip. It was in Milwaukee, got the idea to come on the Wisconsin River and start giving duck tours. And in 1947, they opened up the first duck company. Ran and operated it for about 2 or 3 years. But he's not true. He got bored, so he actually sold that company. around 15 years later, his daughter founded our duck company, and that is why we have two different duck companies here in Wisconsin Dells. Now, there are some differences between us and the other duck company. One is that you guys might have seen they switched to a really ugly green-white color. We have a nice camouflage. Another is that they switched to a diesel engine. We still have the original inline 6 that GMC made for these ducks. One of the biggest differences that I notice is that our duck drivers and passengers are a lot better looking than theirs are. Side of our duck, and on top of that hill you guys can see that beautiful log cabin house. It's a pretty nice house, huh?
It's alright.
We're gonna let you guys in on a little Dell secret. You guys know the actor Robert Downey Jr.? Plays Iron Man? That is actually not his house. It's just an Airbnb. Coming up on our right-hand side, you guys will see this man-made structure in between those two rocks. This is actually our stream flow gauging station, and this is where we can tell how much water is coming through the Wisconsin River at any given time. You guys might be wondering, how high has the Wisconsin River ever gotten? It actually got to the top of that brown sign back in 1938. Now that you guys are looking at the sign too, you'll be able to read that whoever did the sign didn't have spell check, as they spelled gauging wrong. They forgot a U. I think our duck is plenty warmed up. Do you guys want to try a little top speed test?
Yeah.
See how fast it goes? Pretty fast, huh?
Woo!
All about 5 miles an hour. Now, coming up in front of our duck, we do have our first 2 freestanding rock basins that we'll see on today's trip, with one on the right and one on the left. We'll start with this one on the right here. This one got the name the Grotto, and that is after all the caves and grottos on the inside of the rock. Now, if you guys get the chance, you and your families can actually rent some kayaks and canoes and go inside the grotto. And once you guys get inside, you'll realize it is about 10 to 15 degrees colder than it is outside the rock. Now, Native Americans figured out how cold it was in there, and they used it as a natural storage system for all of their food, like Hot Pockets, pizza rolls, toaster strudels, all the essentials.
બધું નેચરલ. ઓકે.
Straight out in front of our duck, you guys can see that other freestanding rock formation. This one got the name Sugar Bowl Island, as H.H. Bennett thought it looked like an overflowing sugar bowl. But me personally, I think it looks more like the back of an elephant.
Yep.
To the left-hand side of our duck, you guys can see that big dead fallen down tree over on that shoreline. I've actually nicknamed that tree the government tree, because if you look very closely, you can see all the crooked branches. Freestanding rock formation. This one got the name Twin Inkstands, as H.H. Bennett thought it looked like two inkstands he had sitting on his desk in his office. Twin inkstands actually acts as a natural compass, with the rock on the right pointing north and south, and the rock on the left pointing east and west, and it's only off by about 2 degrees. Now back behind Twin Inkstands, we actually have the biggest zip lines that the Dells have to offer. Some say the experience is electrifying, maybe even shocking. You guys might have heard me mention the name H.H. Bennett a few times. Might be wondering, who is H.H. Bennett? Well, H.H. Bennett was a man who served in the Civil War, where he accidentally shot his own hand. After he shot his own hand, he got discharged back here to the Wisconsin Dells, where he pushed a camera and a canoe down the Wisconsin River and took pictures of all the freestanding rock formations, which gave him the right to name them. Now, these pictures that he took are what originally brought fame and tourism here to the Wisconsin Dells. Coming up on our left-hand side, you guys will see our fourth and final freestanding rock formation of today's trip. This one got the name Lone Rock, as it is the last freestanding rock formation going downstream on the Wisconsin River. Lone Rock has 4 different cave entrances, and the inside is actually hollow enough to fit one of our Army ducks, but as we are not the Magic School Bus, we will not be going inside today. Over to our left is our first entrance into Lone Rock. coming up on our left, and you guys should be able to see some sort of bell shape. You guys see the bell?
Yeah.
No, I actually took my girlfriend down the Wisconsin River, and she said it looked like a wedding bell. But I had made my lunch that day, so I said it looked like a Taco Bell. That's why I'm now single and on farmersonly.com. Over to our left is our third entrance. This one may look like the biggest, but it does get more narrow the further you go back, making it the smallest of the four. Now we will be exiting the Wisconsin River. We'll be using both our 6-wheel drive and our prop to get out.
Small guy.
Now, up in front of our deck, you guys can see the house that I built last summer for all the money I make deck driving. And now we'll be headed back to our private property for a question and answer session. And once again, we'll be getting back on those windy roadways, so I have to remind you guys to hang on to all those loose items.
Alright guys, how was that tour?
Good.
Good. That's where you guys got from walk back. Just kidding guys, that part you guys are free to ask any questions about the Dell's history, the Ducks history, our tour, pretty much anything.
Now, straight up in front of our deck and through these trees, you guys can see the tallest zip line that we have here on property. This zip line is over 100 feet high, and you guys can reach speeds of up to 35 miles an hour racing down, but I think it's a lot faster if you just jump off. Over to the left-hand side of our duck, you guys can see what we like to call our duck graveyard. This is pretty much where all of our training ducks come to rest. Me personally, I have about 2 or 3 in there. Coming up on our left, we do have our salute to military service. In the back, we have one flag for each branch of the U.S. military. Some U.S. military vehicles out front here. This is the part of the tour where I'd like to tell anyone who is active in the military or who has served in the military, thank you very much for your service and keeping our country safe. Coming up on our right-hand side, you guys will see this big green building with the red cross on it. This is actually our duck hospital. This is where all of our ducks do come to get worked on when they get sick. This is also where our one full-time hired mechanic works around the clock to keep our ducks in operational order. And as we had no problems on today's tour, I'd say he's doing a great job. Now, if you guys didn't have a good time on today's tour, feel free to leave a review on Google, TripAdvisor, or Facebook. Say you were with Jack M here at the Dell's Army Ducks. But if you guys had a bad time on today's tour, our boss does like to hear that too, but just say you were with Maverick instead.
થઈ ગયું ડકબોટની રાઈડ પૂરી ચલો નેક્સ્ટ મળે તો બધું હોય નહીં છોકરો માટે વકાલા હારીમો
છોકરાઓની જ છે
એટલે
આ યેસુની કેવડા ફેવરેટ છે જો
પણ આ ગેમ કાલાહારીમાં છે ઇન્ડોરમાં અહીં ઠરવા ના કરતા
આ કહું છું તમને તાર જેવડા છોકરા
ચલાવતા
યેસુ ના ચલવી
ના ફાવે નહીં ને જો તો કદી ચલાવી ના હોય ને એની મોટી ફાવે નહીં કારણ કે ગમે તે ઠોકારી આવે
હવે ફાવે યેસુ ડ્રાઇવિંગ કરે જ છે ને સાયકલ
તે તો કહું છું કે હવે ફાવે શું
કાલ સ્ટોલ હતા જો બધા અહીંયા તો સ્ટોલ નહીં હા સર હવે બધી
આ બધા હવાનું દુકાનો બનાવીને ઉભા રહી જાય ખબર પડી
ભૂરીબાને યાદ રહી ગઈ લો પેલા રોબર્ટ જોઈને યાદ આવ્યું
આ બંને ઊભા છે ને ઓલિમ્પસ સાઈડ
મને ખબર તું હાથે કઈ કરતો
yesterday.
At the light, turn left onto State Highway 13 South, Wisconsin 13 Trunk South, then turn right after Taco Bell.
કાલ આપણે અહીંથી એન્ટર થયા હતા ને
હા
જો અહીંયા કોક છે ટીનાભાઈ તમારું જોડે ઉપર
હા
તમારા જોડે ઉપર કોક છે
જઈ
પૂરીબેન તાકો બેલ ખાવા આવી ગયો બધા બાવલો બધા આવી ગયા તાકો બેલ ખા તાકો બેલ
ના
ખાઈ જઈએ
તો આવી રીતે ખાવા પીવાનું રખડતી હોય ચો દોડાવે
એ પતિ જેવા પગ કરતા હશે જો ખાવા પીવા આયા બધા
તાળા હેડે તાકો બેલ મોહી Good address.
Kalahari ને
કાલાહારી ઇન્ડોર વોટર
જો
પાર્ક
આઈ રેસ કરાઈ જો તો કરો શું આઈ રે
Civil
જો
Bazaar.
હમે જો પેલી આઈ
જો પેલો વાળો છે એટલે સાચો જ બે પટકાય નહીં
ये आई बम करते हो के जो तो करो आई કેટલી आई અને બ્લુ आई
Black one ખાવું black. આવું બોલું. Kalahari. એક અંદરની entry મારી.
આપણે અહીંયા આવ્યા હતા હેમ્પટન હોટલ આગળ તો પીઝા ખાતા હતા
અરે
અમે પીઝા ખાતા હતા સ્ટોર આવ્યો
બીજા રૂમ છે
મૂવી જોવા.
કાલાહારી જો આમાં બોટલ રાખે મજા આવે
આખી આવેલા તક શું મોટો દઈ.
બે લાઈન
આ બાજુ હવે બધું અહીંયા મૂકીને જા પછી આમાં મકા ખોલે ને તો પછી
હાથી આવી ગયા કાલાહારી દાડા કલા હાથેમાં આવી ગયો જોઈ લે જોઈ લે
બધા સામે સામે એલિફન્ટ વાળું છે
યા બેસી જાય એ બેસી જાઉં બેસી જાય હેલો હેલો મેં હેડ્યા કાલે હારી